It's a Dylan Sullivan Show. Hello, Dylan Sullivan.
Hi, Dylan.
Dylan Sullivan Show. The Sullivan. That Dylan Sullivan Show. That Dylan Sullivan. Sullivan. Dylan Sullivan Show. That Dylan Sullivan Show. The Dylan Sullivan Show.
What were you doing?
I was just on my stupid phone. I mean, I was at Denny's for a while, and then we went to like a late night coffee.
Okay. Who were you at Denny's with?
I was at Denny's with Candace Medina and Ray Genevieve.
Okay, so you're a big Denny's guy, huh?
Dude, I'm a huge Denny's guy. And now that I'm starting to make money with comedy,
right,
it's been my goal to be known at the Denny's in Austin, in all of Austin.
Right,
so,
every Denny's in Austin.
Yeah.
So you'll just go up and hit up a different Denny's this time, just to be like,
yeah,
I gotta establish my territory.
And I tip insane.
Okay.
And, and some of like the servers are like clearly heroin addicts.
Right.
And I want to be
at Denny's.
Yeah. But yo, the tweakers make good breakfast.
That makes sense.
Whoever is in the kitchen at like 3:00 in the morning, they got nothing.
Right.
So they really put an effort. Like I had the best pancakes last night, and I'm not usually a pancake guy.
Really, I couldn't tell by looking at you.
I'm more of a birthday pancake.
Okay,
birthday cake pancake.
Okay,
snickerdoodles and slice of pizza on the pancake. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I'm trying to be known at Denny's. What Austin is lacking right now is a good late night food spot.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's my number one complaint about the city. And it's the really big indication of like, oh, this wasn't really a huge city. I don't think it was never meant to be a big city like it's about to become. You know, this is about to become the next big thing, I think, right? Like, like a Chicago type level of city, if that makes kind of sense. I don't want to...
All the big businesses are either here or coming here.
Right.
And that brings along like
thousands of people
yeah,
and young people looking for opportunity. Like, this is about to be a big city, and it just... The late night food here is just so rough.
So rough, dude.
So rough.
It's crazy that we live on 6th Street and there's very few places to go around and eat.
Right, after we're done performing, like there's no like diner.
No.
And even then, I don't think I'd want to go to a diner on 6th Street. That seems like a complete mayhem.
Oh yeah. That is, you need it a diner that's driving distance from 6th Street.
Right.
If you catch my drift.
Yeah. You know, to keep the Uber pours away.
Exactly.
The real pours away. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're putting down.
You should be, when you go to a late night diner spot, you should have to check in. Each group should have to check in a set of keys. To either a car or an apartment.
Right.
That's where I'm really like classist.
Right.
Is my life. It's like if I'm going to a diner at 3 a.m., I want it to be real people.
Right. This is the thing. People are always like, oh, you know, we're trying to be less classist and maybe like a classless society or whatever the fuck they talk about. But it's like, bro, you want to hang out with homeless people?
Yeah, hang out on 6th Street
for a little bit.
Stand on a corner for 20 minutes.
Right.
See if you aren't classist.
Yeah. See if you want to go to dinner with everyone who you interact with.
Yeah, that drives me nuts. It's like all those people usually, in my experience, make like 6 figures.
Right.
And it's very easy to be like, we gotta change things from like an apartment that's 30 floors up.
Right. We gotta make things better. It's like, well, things are good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Things are good for you.
You just want to say the thing, but you don't want to do the thing.
Exactly. You don't want to do the thing.
No, you don't.
I'll tell you something. I made minimum wage most of my life. I hate poor people. You know,
every morning just looking in the mirror, just, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
You're right.
No. Yeah. I gotta. It should be a motivation to escape.
Right.
And we shouldn't reward that behavior. But being poor.
Right. Well, there is like, because there is this sort of like weird thing that's like, oh, well, some people are kept poor by the system, and then some people are just like, oh, you're just there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Or that not even you can do. There's nothing that you're willing to do to not be poor.
No, you're a crab.
Yeah. You're waiting for someone to hoping that someone will pull you up.
Yeah.
Versus doing something about it.
No. Yeah, exactly. There's an insane amount of inequity in this country and people being dealt terrible hands that, aren't up to them. But there's an equal amount of fucking poor losers.
Right. You're like, oh, you could have done something with that hand.
Yeah, you could have done something.
You just chose to do nothing.
Sell plasma. Loser. Get your head in the game.
Yeah. Start thinking of ways to sell yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Splash some tap water on your face. And get to it. Yeah, man.
You actually have bootstraps to pull up.
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many people who were never born with any bootstraps.
Yeah, there's some people who don't even get boots because those are poor man shoe.
Yeah.
You should be so lucky.
Right. You have something to pull.
Yeah, exactly.
People out here are grasping for anything.
Oh man, don't get me started about these poor people. Don't get me started. Well, it's just God, when you're poor, you just have to man, it just makes you a worse person in like most areas, especially if you're not trying to get out of it.
Right. What do you mean by that makes you a worse person?
It's just, you gotta always be borrowing things and always be taking things and always oh man.
But this is the level of scheming that you have to be doing.
Yeah, you always gotta be scheming and plotting. But at least those people are, scheming and plotting to get out of it.
Right.
But there's some that are content in misery.
Oh, but dude, self-pity is a dangerous drug.
Yeah.
It's up there with heroin. It's once you get addicted to feeling sad for yourself.
Oh.
It's hard. That's why victim complexes are so huge.
I know, it's a sweet drug.
Right. It just makes you feel so good to be oh, the world is against me.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do. I can't do anything different if the world is against me.
It sucks that 7.2 billion people hate my ass.
Yeah. 8 billion people are keeping me down.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
I mean, the odds of me getting out of this, I might as well,
Yeah, I might as well just be sad.
Yeah.
I might as well just be sad.
Yeah, eat the rest of this half-eaten bag of Fritos.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. If you're rich and depressed, you're poor. That's what we're trying to say. You just genuinely just hey.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for rich people who say they're sad.
No.
Buy your way out of it.
Right. Well, it's so what they say they'll say, oh, it's a chemical imbalance. You're not creating enough serotonin. And sure, maybe naturally you're not creating enough serotonin. Or do you think the pathways in your head that you have rewarded are not as serotonin producing?
Yeah.
Have you been rewarding sitting around at home doing nothing, not getting any sun, not doing anything?
Right.
And then being oh, I'm so sad?
Yeah.
Have you been rewarding that?
Probably.
You know what I mean? Have you been rewarding the circuit in your brain that makes you feel sad about yourself? Thereby creating a feed loop, thereby creating the condition for less serotonin?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Isn't that what's happening? And the reality is that no drug you can take is really going to make you feel better because we don't know much about the brain.
Yeah.
And adding these synthetic hormones probably aren't going to be as good for you as taking the steps, taking a walk and going outside and starting exercise and just talking to yourself nicely. All those things are hard.
Yeah.
And they don't come in a magic pill.
No, they don't.
And maybe that's what you got to do. Maybe depression is a little bit in your head.
Yeah. Or God hates you.
That's also possible. Maybe God just hates you and you're the special one out of everybody. Out of 8 billion people, you're the special one.
I know. It is really, with the victim complex, it is an underlying tone of, I'm special.
Right.
I was cursed.
I'm the only one God looks down on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they just to say that from your like American apartment.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like
it's hard to sit at a Denny's and convince yourself you defy God.
Yeah. It's like, you're like try living in a fucking Indian slum for 2 days and be like, oh, maybe I'm not that much of a victim.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe I don't live in the shadow of a sweatshop who's constantly dumping toxic waste into my water.
And those African kids, by the way, they look so happy when they see a camera for the first time. Yeah, man, poverty's crazy.
Right? Like real deal poverty. Mm-hmm. I was watching this movie called Lion. It's about this Indian kid who was born into a slum, like a slum, and then is like he gets lost and eventually gets adopted. And all I could think of was like, damn, bro, I was like a dice roll of fate.
Oh yeah,
from being that guy. You know what I mean?
Statistically,
like, yeah, like where I am, and something that I've noticed. And the reason why I say all those things about depression is because I felt like I was that person for a while. I was like, oh, I was depressed, and then I was like, oh no, the answer isn't like a pill; it's working on yourself.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
It's absolutely working on yourself. But that was like around that time I realized like, oh, bro, I am so incredibly blessed not to be born as into that.
Yeah. There's so many things to like. You could be born into that we weren't.
Right. I was born in America.
Yeah.
You know, pre 9/11, the 90s. Pretty good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty good time.
Yeah.
No, I pretty much hit the lottery as far as a brown dude in a place his people aren't from.
Yeah.
You know, as an immigrant son, I hit the lottery in places I could be born. Yeah. You know,
because what if your parents never immigrated, or your dad never immigrated,
or they immigrated to the states where they use like those Arab states that use like brown people as slave labor?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was just like, oh, they immigrated, but they had to go to Qatar and build the fucking World Cup stadium in inhumane heat, and just
Dubai needs a taller building.
Dude, yeah. Just Lionel Messi won the World Cup on the bones of my family. You know? Yeah. I'm glad that was not my life. I'm glad I got to watch it happen.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel incredibly lucky to be gay when I was gay.
Oh yeah.
If this was the 1950s, I'd have a wife.
Right.
And I'd hate her.
Yeah. And you'd probably beat her.
And she'd hate me.
You'd definitely beat her.
Yeah.
And then people would talk about it in hushed tones, like we really know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, they probably wouldn't you'd probably call you a communist.
Yeah. They didn't have the word. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's exactly what would happen, dude. I was just talking about this the other day. It's so crazy when you see like, 'cause I used to work at this summer camp.
Right.
And this older couple, maybe in like their 60s, ran it, and husband and wife, and the husband was like so gay.
Like
Like like and not even like couldn't hide it gay. Like it was like musicals and like everything's out of order.
Right. Like he had the gay voice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he had to they had kids.
Right. Oof.
So it's like, one, how do you get over the coming thing? Like, okay, go in his shoes. Imagine if to have like a wife and kids, you had to come in a dude for it.
Yeah.
That'd be a difficult. I don't even know what you do. I think you like just jerk off with your eyes closed, and then at the last second you like put it in.
Right, because it's not the feeling you want even.
No.
Right, that's like very much mind over matter type stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's like, I can make this work. And then he made it work. Yeah. It's like the Mission Impossible theme plays while he's dun. There's some guy trying to fuck his wife.
Yeah. I know, man, but that's the thing is like he could never be a gay guy because of when he was born.
Yeah.
And now.
Did he seem like a relatively happy person?
Ish. But you could tell there was like a darkness
that was making him back.
Gone.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I mean, same thing. I imagine like his wife would be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, can you imagine being that woman? Like, she had kids, and that probably gave her fulfillment. But like, imagine just being in a marriage where like that guy doesn't want to fuck you.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, because a woman's intuition is so strong.
Yeah.
That you think that. Yeah, I mean, she definitely knew. But something that the part of I guess a person's superpower is that you can just shut that part off in you.
Yeah.
And just be like, nope.
Yeah.
I don't ever acknowledge it.
Yeah.
My husband's fine.
Yep. I have
Our
kids.
marriage is happy.
We've got a house.
Yeah.
And then like all her friends are probably like,
dude, he's got a gay
husband.
Yeah, and one of their husbands is probably fucking him.
Yeah. Exactly. Yo, it's crazy how many times I'm like, I mean, not, but like, there's a lot of marriages like that.
Right.
There's a lot of marriages where I come over when she's at work.
Oh my God.
And that's insane to me. I always think about like, how many?
Right. And they're generally probably older, right?
Some of them are
like our age.
Yeah.
Ooh, and they just can't deal with it because because no one cares.
There's so many people that just can't deal with it.
Right. Especially here in Austin.
Yeah.
Right, where no one would care.
Yeah, no one would care.
But it's like, but you care.
But you care. And it's usually their parents care.
Their parents care. And there is this sort of, I would venture to guess that in some of those guys, there is also a innate want to have children.
Yeah.
I think that's probably something that fucks with them more so than societal pressure, is the innate biological pressure to reproduce.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is these days you get a surrogate or fuck a chick.
You could get a surrogate. A surrogate, but that's not the same. You know what I mean? We're talking about the base natural instinct.
Yeah.
Is to reproduce.
Yeah.
You know, and then some gay people don't have it, but there must be like gay people who still have that.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So it's like that's probably the harder thing to fight against.
I wonder. Yeah, man, it's
hey, gay guys in marriages, hit us up and tell us.
Shoot us a line.
Tell us what you think. I'm actually very curious about this.
Yeah, no, I am too. It's
is there a flag for gay guys in straight marriages?
Yeah, it's the Pistons flag.
The Pistons. You said that like that was the only sports team you.
I was racking my brain. Yeah.
So I live near the university, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of flags, I live near the university, and I'm so used to seeing like pride flags, and it's interesting to see how they've evolved too, because like now,
don't get me started.
Yeah. It used to be just the rainbow.
Yeah.
Then it was like the rainbow with like the triangle trans thing in it, and now they have one on campus where it's the rainbow, the triangle trans, and in the triangle trans is a circle.
God.
Which is, I think the Illuminati eye. I don't know what that is. And then, like, when you land in the San Jose airport, it's like the pride flag and then the trans flag as well. So they have they've now separated the two as part of different things. But no, this is why I brought this up, especially living near the university. I'm so used to seeing pride flags that I saw a flag today, and I was like, oh, what pride flag is that? Because it was like really colorful. So I looked it up and I couldn't find it, so I Googled it, and it was the flag for the Seychelles. It was just a country.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But here, let me see if I can find it. But like, you look at that, and like, especially when you're surrounded by pride flags, you would just assume that's just another pride flag.
Yeah. That's so funny. It's just a country. Oh, yeah, that looks like a pride flag.
Yeah, you would absolutely assume that was a pride flag.
I wonder if everyone in that country is like the tourists coming. We're not gay.
We're not gay.
We're not gay.
It was just so funny. I just assumed it was a pride flag.
That's hilarious. Well, the pride flag evolution has been crazy. I always thought like a rainbow includes everybody because that's the whole ideology of a rainbow.
Right.
Is that it's all the colors in a rainbow.
Right.
Take your pick.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, don't get me started about this, but the trans movement has really been overshadowing, you know.
Yeah, how does a millennial gay feel about the trans movement?
I want trans people to feel safe in this country and like accepted and all that. What I don't like is when, because I mean, there's crazy people in every sect of thing, you know, like conservatism, liberalism. There's nuts people, and those people get the most media play.
Right.
But God, it sucks because it's like do you ever, like, if there's like an Indian guy where you're like, I'm not that Indian guy.
Right. I very much kind of felt that way about. Remember that documentary about Apu?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what you care about.
Yeah.
No one's given a shit about Apu. At the time the documentary came out, in years, he was an iconic character on an iconic TV show.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, I just, what I didn't like about it, it was like, your whole complaint is about representations of Indians in media. Mm-hmm. So this, I forgot what it was on. Maybe it was like True TV or whatever. This television channel, whatever media entity gives you a platform. So instead of being the representation you want to be, to kind of steal from Gandhi here, instead of being the change you want to see in the world, you just complained about how the world was.
Yeah. But that's
what I didn't like.
That's what the fucked up part is, and that's what I don't like about like some things in the gay movement is like there's not a voice that says like, because then racist, homophobic, whoever people are like, Ehsan cares about Apu on The Simpsons. Right. No! As much as I don't care about J.K. Rowling's comment of whatever. Right. I didn't say I cared about that. You're making the whole group look like we're upset about this. Mm-hmm. We're not. Right. I'm not. It's some fucking, Berkeley douchebag fag who got everything. And the one thing that doesn't break their way, they're like, that's not fair. It's like, the world isn't fair. Yeah, and don't convince the world that I don't think it's fair. Right. I hate that. I hate that, like, for every movement, it's like, oh, well, that's what that group thinks about it. Right. No, it's not. It's some douchebag, usually, who just, like, wanted attention.
Yeah, but also, what I've noticed a lot in all these political things, and this goes in the trans thing on Twitter and the anti-trans people on Twitter, like the people who talk most about trans stuff, whether it be pro or against. Yeah. If you look at their profiles, it's usually just like it's very bot-like. Yeah. On both ends. And it's like, oh, are you just pushing this narrative so we can avoid talking about, like, what's actually important? Yeah. Like, because there's no way there's that many trans people.
No, there isn't.
There is not.
Louis
has really, like, born in the wrong gender, really dealing with some shit. There's not that many.
Well, look at the
Twitter would make you suggest.
The Austin comedy community and open micers, everybody, I know of 2 trans people. Right. And that's also in a very liberal city. Right. you know? So, like, it is not that, like, in your face as the media makes you believe. Right. Like, I've seen a trans person. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw the trans comic. It's been at least over a month since I've even seen those people that I know. Right.
It's just, But no, I get what you're saying. It's like the wrong parts of whatever's going on is being amplified. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like the wrong parts. We're gonna amplify. Oh, Dave Chappelle is making jokes about trans people, so we gotta fucking pick it. And it's like, what? Jokes. You guys think you're above jokes.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted equality.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not above jokes. I do think it is very hilarious that they chopped their dicks off and lost their sense of humor. What does that say? I don't know.
Right.
Right. Just following the science. But it is like, you know, I don't know.
No, that's the thing. And I think, oddly enough, the way to, like, curtail that, everyone's like, you know, he's got to stop saying these jokes. It's like,
say more of them.
Yeah. Get the funniest trans person to say some crazy ass black jokes.
Right. Right.
And that's like a thing of like, we can joke about each other.
Right.
You know, instead of like doing a stupid ass picket line or like going in front of a Netflix building, as if that isn't just those people that are like protesting him and stuff is like, you're giving him free publicity.
Yeah. Hey, that's gay.
Yeah. It is pretty gay.
It's pretty gay. But it is like I equate it to like these are some like they started off as privileged white men.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Right. To like to actually afford gender reassignment surgery.
Yeah.
You have to be well off. It's not a like a poor person thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like it's just these privileged white men who are not used to being number one anymore, being like, hey, how come it's worse down here? It's like, welcome to everybody's existence.
Yeah, exactly.
You just roll with it. It's
the
okay.
Trans people that are poor, like I worked at Starbucks, and part of Starbucks' thing is like if you work there for a certain amount of hours, a certain amount of time, they'll pay for your transition surgery.
That's wild.
So it's there was a poor trans person and she was, I guess, like got her surgery or whatever, and she maybe spoke 4 times this time I met her.
Right.
But then, you know, the kid who's, you know, like the privileged white guy who gets it, it's like, I've got to make this a thing.
Right. Look at me.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know, dude. I hate getting lumped in with people's like. That's the part that I think is actually homophobic. Is like people thinking I give a shit.
Right.
About something I don't give a shit about.
Right. Right. And it's so funny. Like if especially when it comes to this issue, if you talk one side or another, you get lumped with a group. You either get lumped with like you're either like, oh, this radical, like, oh, trans people should do whatever they want type guy, or you're like part of this like, oh, you must be like a Nazi fascist. It's like it's like one of the few things that there's no you can't have nuanced conversations about almost.
No.
It's everything you say sounds reactionary. Everything people will react to it in a certain way. Like if you were to isolate what we had just said these last 10 minutes, I'm sure everyone would be like, oh, look at these right wing.
Yeah.
Move to Austin, become right wing. And it's like, I'm not right wing in the slightest, really.
Right.
I've never been in my entire life. I guess that as you get older, you get more conservative. And it's like, oh, maybe it's because the goalpost, I'm still where I am. It's just the goalpost of what means what has shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. There's got to be a new class of liberal that's like, liberal, but we still like comedy.
Yeah, liberal, but you can still take some jokes.
Yeah,
that's why I like doing comedy in Austin, like because it's a blue city in a red state. Mm-hmm. So it's like they are open enough to hear your ideas, but not so closed-minded that when they hear the wrong word, that they won't try to find the deeper, like they won't be shut off to hearing what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you say the wrong word, or you say the wrong things in these like super liberal places and these super conservative places, you're cut off.
Yeah.
Where here they're open-minded enough to be like, well, let's actually hear what he's saying. I feel that same way about San Diego, which is a red city in a blue state.
Yeah.
Where it's like that's the sort of best situation.
Yeah,
I think for
where you have a one thing, but then you got people coming in as well.
Right, and it's like, okay, this is a really good mix of like, if Austin had more people of color, it would be a great representation of America. That's what it's missing.
Yeah,
the audiences are mostly white here.
Yeah, they are.
Ideologically, it's almost there, but it does need more people of color. But that'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. There's going to be more Asians anyways.
Yeah.
Now that Tech's here, Asians are about to flood this place.
Oh, yeah.
Especially really Asians, and Asians are conservative.
Yeah.
Asians took down fucking, what was it? What got lost in Supreme Court again? Affirmative action? You know how the Supreme Court said affirmative action? That was Asians.
Really?
That took it down. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that was Asians. Yeah, because we think / know that we're better than y'all. So they're like, don't put these limits on us. We're here to take over the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're getting into Harvard.
Oh yeah. Eventually, everyone who runs this place will be an Asian descendant. That's what it feels like. We're already all your doctors and engineers. We got the high-paying jobs.
Yeah, exactly. And God, once they get the culture thing down, because they don't have the culture thing down yet.
Kind of, but like
until Crazy Rich Asians came out.
No, but this is what I'm saying is like, so for a while America made everything.
Yeah.
Right? And then we didn't make anything, but we made all the culture. With rap, movies, TV. But now, bro, Korean movies, K-pop. There was a K-pop artist in the Billboard Top 100 this year, and I listened to the song. This is not an English song. It was in Korean.
That's
people
wild.
just listen to it. They don't understand it. You know, anime is huge here now. Fucking Parasite won the Academy Award. Squid Games was probably the biggest cultural phenomenon coming out of Netflix recently.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I guess Stranger Things, but that's been going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like America is now not exporting culture like that
because we're in our own culture battle that
we're in this old little loop of like we've lost the plot of what's actually supposed to be happening here.
Dude, I haven't seen like a good American made, I mean like an iconic American made thing in a minute. They still have their movies, but like
I guess like the iconic American stuff is like what, Tiger King? Just documentaries on how fucked up we are.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like the last also like great comedic movie I've seen.
Oh, we talked about this. I can't think of just a pure comedy. A comedy that's not trying to teach you a lesson.
Yeah.
Or like that isn't about something heavier.
Yeah.
Just a pure silly comedy. I think The Hangover is probably the last one.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen Girls Trips and I haven't seen Girls Trip and I haven't seen Bridesmaids. So I've heard they're kind of.
Bridesmaid was really good.
Yes.
It was a comedy.
And it's just pure silly?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably the last one. That's probably in 2012.
Yeah.
It's been over a decade.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're not allowed to make comedies like that anymore. Like think about one of the funniest scenes in the original Hangover. No, one of the funniest scenes. One of the scenes sticks out is he's picking up his friend the dentist and he goes paging Dr. Faggot.
Right.
You can't say that anymore.
Right. But that's like really it's a shame because that's also how people talk.
Right. Right.
You know?
That's also how people talk back then too.
Yeah.
You sort of it's this sort of weird thing that happens in art where we apply current day morality to the art that was made back then, and it's like you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what it's
Everyone
about.
Was down.
Yeah,
everyone was down because it was one of the highest grossing comedy films of all time.
Right.
So you participated.
Right.
Or someone you know did.
Right. Or like Huck Finn.
Yeah.
People talk about, look what they call Jim or whatever. It's like, bro, this takes place in the backwoods of Louisiana.
Right.
Do you think they're gonna be like, oh, that's my African American brother? Is that how they talk about slaves back then?
No, let me do the work.
Yeah. It's like, see what the story's about. And you know what's funny? I read Huck Finn as an adult for the first time.
Oh wow.
The book is incredible. It's incredibly funny. I think the closest thing to Huck Finn in current day media is actually kind of Parasite.
Really?
There's the end of Huck Finn and the end of Parasite are very similar in ways. In sort of this like, this scheme. There's a lot of scheming and it's like a big like, you know.
Yeah.
It's if you read it as an adult, you'd be like, oh, this is
Parasite.
This is kind of Parasite, at least at the end. But like, yeah, it's like to be like, oh, I can't believe they're saying this about. It's like this is a slave in like in this deep south. Right.
What do you think?
Yeah,
because
and the overall commentary is that how it's bad that he's treated like this.
Right.
Even by people who are his friends.
Yeah. Yo, it's insane to me, dude.
That's what you're missing when you're like, we can't have this in school. It's like that's what you're really taking away. It's like even people in those times realized how bad what they were doing were, and if you erase that, that's when you were doomed to repeat it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You think you're doing something out of some like, oh, well, this is noble now. And it's like, yeah, but that was noble then.
Yeah. Right. And you can't kind of suffocate people's way of progress of their time.
Right. Yeah. Or you can't, like, you know, or you like even art around that time. Like, okay, so I'll take Jojo Rabbit, for example. So people didn't like Jojo Rabbit because there's like a Nazi that's a good guy. There's a couple like this is like it's like a good guy Nazi, and people are like, oh, this movie is bad. It portrays Nazi as good guys. And it's like, what do you think? Nazis were just kind of these aliens that came down to Earth and decided to take over? No, they were regular human beings.
Yeah, they're everyday people.
They were everyday people. And if you think that like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Because that's only what monsters do. Then you're missing the whole point. Because you are 100% capable of that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to see them as real people. And you know what? Maybe there was a lot of people in there that were like doing that to survive, and they might have been a good guy at the end who did some terrible things. Mm-hmm. But you would do that in that situation.
100%.
And if you think you don't, you're. I was gonna drop it.
You're a retarded Jew faggot.
No, but if you think you're above that, you're an idiot.
Right.
You're an idiot if you think bro, you know how big Pokemon Go was?
Right.
And fidget spinners were? You don't think you'd be a Nazi if that was the thing?
Right. Exactly.
In your place, in your time?
Yo, everyone's capable. And then it's
You're capable of some wildly disturbing things.
Yeah.
And if you don't realize that, like the people complaining about Jojo Rabbit and saying, like, look at them, they're making these monsters humans, they're more ready to become a Nazi than someone realizing, like, oh, these were people.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. If you're so indoctrinated in your belief that like, this group of people are the bad guys,
are the monsters, and they were born monsters, and nothing can change them. It's like that's what they were saying about the Jews.
And you're stupid and poor.
Yeah. But that's what they were saying about the Jews back then. It's like they were born that way. They were evil. There's nothing that could have been done. And it's like, is that what's happening? Is the same person who was a part of the Nazi Party, if they were born in New York, don't you think they'd be just a regular democracy-loving patriot?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't think circumstances shape who you are? They were just, it's just...
they're bad people.
Right.
They're just born with bad.
Yeah, they were just born with bad, and I'm not capable of that. If you ever feel that way, you're about to do some terrible things.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's this book called The Lucifer Effect. They also made a movie called The Stanford Experiments, I think. But yeah, it was about the Stanford experiment.
Yeah, those were insane.
Yeah, exactly. They put a bunch of people in a small building with simulated no clocks. Prison. Yeah, simulated prison. And just like that, everyone loses their minds and becomes monsters.
Yeah, the prison guards become torturers.
Yeah.
There's a great thing called the great. Have you heard the Milgram experiment or the Milgram experiment? I forgot what it's called. So basically, you have the guy they're doing the experiment on a button. On like a machine, and the next room it administers shocks, right? And it doesn't really administer shocks. Yeah. They have an actor pretending they're being shocked, and almost every time the person, just because they're told by a guy in a lab coat to administer a lethal shock, administers it.
Yeah.
No matter how much screaming they hear, no how much begging for mercy the person in the other room is doing, the actor from the other room is giving them, they will always always administer the lethal shock. Always. That's who you are.
Yeah, exactly. And don't pretend you're not.
Don't pretend you're not.
And don't yell at the guy who made that mistake.
Yeah. Now, of course, there's evil people out there, whatever. But all I'm saying is that these people who are capable of these terrible things are not special monsters.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Oh, yo, there was this, it wasn't even an experience. It was like this lady, and she was doing like performance art. And she laid herself on a table and put a bunch of like tools and different things around her.
Was there a loaded gun as well?
There wasn't a loaded gun, thank God.
Right.
but she was, the art exhibit was like, do whatever you want to me. And so like people are like, they start off slow, they like, do one of these or like try to get her to blink. And then as time passes, and they get more and more sinister. And this guy like stabbed her. They started poking her, and because they're like, oh, she will, and like everyone became monsters, and she had to stop it,
right?
Because
They were gonna kill her.
They were gonna kill her.
They were gonna kill her. Eventually, they were gonna kill her. You leave that long enough, someone will kill you. Some everyday person.
Yeah, she would be raped or killed or
right,
or both.
You're right.
Crazy.
Yeah, people are capable of insane things.
It does scare me when people think they're not capable of evil.
That means you have the. Because like. I don't know. That means you have the capability of doing some monstrous things and not being
I'm not
aware
a monster.
of it. Yes, that's scarier. Because a person who does monstrous things and is aware of it has to deal with that as a human being.
You're right.
Right. So maybe they're completely broken, like many of them are, like a Ted Bundy, where you're just completely broken and you keep pushing through it. But they still have to deal with it. Whereas if you just do you just do monstrous things and think you're not doing that, that's a special kind of like, oh, bro, you're never gonna. That's like universally like. Karmically evil.
Yes.
Because like you don't even have to balance the debt in your head.
No. It's like I did what I.
Yeah, I did the right thing.
I did the right thing. God, dude, it's crazy. It really does set up a dangerous playing field for the future.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just all the time. I think life is just a dangerous playing field. There's no even playing field. There's no nice playing field, bro. This shit is rough. Life is Game of Thrones, dude.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is. The next leading is a little more fictional, so I guess it's more like Succession, I guess. Yeah. But like, it is, bro. This shit is crazy tough.
Yeah.
And crazy hard.
Yeah.
And to just be like, to complain about things not being fair, you have to be a child. Like either literally a child, where you're like, this is not fair, or mentally a child.
Yeah.
Because it isn't fair.
Yeah.
Life is never fair.
No.
It's never going to be fair. The best you can do is make it better. Play the game. Yeah, play the game. The game is the game. I always say this. The game is the game. You got to play it.
And rules are meant to be broken. And realize that.
Right.
if you don't think, if you think there's inequity in this country, turn yourself into Candace Owens. Become a black woman who's rich as fuck. Yeah. For shitting on black people for being poor.
Right. For being just like the Clarence Thomas of black women. Just be that.
If you are homophobic to your core, you hate gay people, you hate trans people, and you want to see it.
And you know that about yourself? That's sellable. That's sellable.
Become Dylan Mulvaney and work from the inside. There are no rules. Wear a dress and take down the whole community.
Yeah, wear a dress and take down Bud Light.
Yeah. You want to make sure craft beer gets a comeback? Cut your dick off and get the highest selling beer and endorse it as a trans person and be really
just watch the
be
world
a selfish whore about it.
Right.
I like to think Dylan Mulvaney is like extremely transphobic.
Right.
Some Nazi.
And she's like, oh, I have free range.
Yeah. Oh, you really could. You could. Like, it's so weird. We live in a world where if you want to take down a minority group, you can pretend you're the minority group.
Right.
And be insufferable.
Yeah. And just be like, oh, I can be the worst example.
Exactly.
And really, really fuck them up.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to change. You could just be on Twitter.
And get rich.
Yeah, and just that's the game.
Yeah.
The game is just making money, dog.
There are no rules.
No, the only rule is make money. That is the system we live in. We are a capitalist society. So sell yourself and make money.
How much would you love to see just a hidden video of Dylan Mulvaney? It's like, I've been drinking my Bud Light in the sun. And then the camera goes on like, let's make some fucking money. Like puts her hair up and puts a Yankees cap on.
Just sitting on a throne of darkness.
Yeah. I didn't even have to cut me dick off.
I just put it.
Yo, you could do that with any minority group.
And all you had to do was on Twitter. I mean, Rachel Dolezal got all the way to president of the NAACP in her area.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
That's playing the game.
That's playing the game, son.
Haters are going to hate.
That's realizing that there's inequity in the world, and I, as a white woman, can become the biggest black woman.
Yeah.
Because that's available to me, and I'm going to take it.
You don't think I can be the biggest black woman? They're all British. 1776 was just the first chapter. It was just a setting for the real game. I'm gonna be a cultural hero. I'm gonna be the Black Panther, and then I'm gonna die.
He's Chadwick Boseman. He's not even pretending to be. Chadwick Boseman really the whole time was just a colon cancer. He's just pretending to be a person.
Oh, boys, I got a good one cooking. I'll tell you what I'm up to.
I do like the idea of the world's just a Guy Pearce movie or whatever the fuck his name is. Guy Ritchie, that's his name. Yeah. Guy Ritchie. This was really happening.
I'm Candace motherfucking Owens. I can do what I want.
I'll watch the world burn for $1 million. I don't care. The game is about money.
Oh, you want to save the fucking ocean? I'm Greta fucking Thunberg. I'm gonna make people hate the fucking environment. Yeah, that's funny.
God damn, dude.
That might work as a bit.
That actually, there's something there. There is definitely something there.
Anyone. Motherfucking Mother Teresa.
Yeah. Well, the older...
I'm gonna rape a bunch of kids and then be a hero.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them AIDS first. They'll make me a saint before they realize what I've done.
And then by the time it comes back around, guess who's never wearing a fucking cloth?
Yeah, you can do that, bro, with anybody.
I know.
Anybody. Oh. I want to sleep with a bunch of children. I think I'll make it about a fight for Indian independence. Because I'm motherfucking Gandhi. They'll never see it coming.
Oh, you want things in America to be good? You want a perfect country? Well, how about I'm John F. motherfucking Kennedy? We'll see what happens when you try to do the good thing.
I'll show you what it's really all about.
Oh, you wanted a good pop jazz music without consequences? Well, I'm Amy fucking Winehouse. She's still British.
Oh, you want affordable sandwiches that make you lose weight? That comes with a price.
Don't worry, I'm only fucking these kids for the sandwiches. It's just a group of people set to ruin and set back things. They're all British. Trying to set back U.S. culture.
Oh, you want to go see the Titanic?
Oh, you want a black guy that fucks children? What about a white guy that fucks children as a black guy? I'm Michael fucking Jackson. I've been practicing these dance moves since I was a boy. So that I could fuck kids as a black white guy.
Oh, I'm America's dad, all right? Why don't you drink this? Lay your head down on the pillow. I'll be your daddy.
Oh, you want to watch The Apprentice on CBS? Donald fucking Trump.
That means I'm going to be insufferable on your TV screens for 6 fucking years.
Oh, and you want a break from that? We'll give you a break.
Yeah.
I'm Joe fucking Biden. Off days have consequences.
You think I can rush for 2,000 yards and not kill my wife? I'm O.J. Simpson.
I got big fucking news for you. It's the British's best ploy. Their master plan.
Yeah, their master plan.
Just prop up people and crush them.
Just to tear them down so hard.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, you want me to be the biggest pop idol in the 2000s? Well, I guess I'm just going to be fucking crazy in the tabloids for 20 years. I'm Britney fucking Spears.
I'm Britney fucking Spears.
And don't fucking forget it.
Oh, you think women are mentally stable? Oh, you want to send your kids out in the woods for a nice summer camp? Not anymore. The fucking Brits.
What, you think Johnny Depp can just find love? Well, you heard incorrectly.
Give them amber. The amber will catch fire. Yo, the Brits are evil, dude. Oh god, dude. Yeah, they're fucking evil.
Yeah, they fucked a lot of things up. I think that's the whole point of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, they're like they're distracting us, being like, oh, let's get their.
Look at our king.
Yeah. Oh, those Russians and those Chinese. Oh, it's so terrible.
It's just British people.
And that was the key swipe from Jordan Shelby. That's our part of every podcast. Yeah, we got sound effects.
Oh, wait, what sound effects?
Oh, dude, we got some fun ones. So, I'm Greta Thunberg, and I'm gonna destroy the fucking planet. Great hands.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a good one. Check this one.
Oh, there's more? There's like you could go through them all?
Check this out.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's fucking crazy. Okay, what else we got going on here? This is like, you gotta talk like this. And this yeah. Hold on. Is this one right? What? This one right? This one.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Oh, you think you can sell affordable sandwiches? That comes with a price.
A big price.
Oh, Bud Light. My name is Dylan Mulvaney.
God damn.
Oh.
This is on the opposite end. This is how Dylan Mulvaney gets ready. She's got a voice changer.
This is what the Jeffrey Epstein plan sounded like.
This plane goes so fast.
Mr. President!
Hi, Will Smith. We love your show. This is just kind of a little.
This is like you're making an announcement almost.
Yeah, it's like an announcement in space.
This is probably what it sounded like inside the submarine.
It did. Hey, isn't it great that everything's going so well?
Yeah, that's it. Just over.
Isn't it great that...
Wait, hold on. Isn't it great that everything's going like that?
Oh, you thought you could just come to the ocean? You think I've been asleep since 1912, haven't you? I've claimed 5 more.
It's a Dylan Sullivan Show. Hello, Dylan Sullivan. I like that.
This is a great one.
Dylan Sullivan Show. That's Dylan Sullivan Show. Dylan Sullivan Show.
Welcome back to our podcast 1010110. What's up with these trans robots? Pick a wire.